This is the most interesting screenshot in my opinion. So this is a quote from Hitler. This is in, I think, Mein Kampf or some shit. Who knows? Or not even. Who knows? This is a quote, though. A genius lives in a different mental dimension from the normal being, but he must possess the possibility of returning into the mental sphere of normal being. If he loses the road back, then he appears mad to normal people. I was a wonderful draughtsman. If there hadn't been so much terrible trouble at home, perhaps I would be Europe's most important painter today. Yeah, okay, dude. As far as the intensity of artistic feeling goes, no living man is my equal today. All right, he's a great painter. I'm now and then aware that it's not I who is speaking, but that something speaks through me. On such occasions, I frequently feel as if there were a mistake in human logic, or as if I had limits of which it is not aware. Suddenly a voice seemed to be saying to me, "Get up, go over there." It was so clear and insistent that I obeyed automatically, as if it had been a military order. I rose up at once to my feet and walked 20 yards along the trench. A stray shell had burst over the group in which I'd been sitting, and every member of it was killed. So that's the part I was talking about at the end. When they talk about, like, the voices in their head aren't just random. It's always something like, I don't know, like you can steal money here. If you go in this house, there'll be nobody home, and you go in here and you can steal money from here. Or if you go here and you look through this garbage, you'll find whatever drug you're looking for. Something like that when they're like druggies, or you know what I mean? So it's like the same kind of thing for Hitler, you know? It's like the voice in his head tells him to go walk away, walks away. Everybody that was staying where he's staying
walks away,
all dies.
He stays alive because he still had a purpose for something.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, what are these voices aren't just random, you know? That's what I'm trying to get at.
The voice could have led him into traffic, and you just follow it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was actually a good voice. It's like, actually, Hitler, just walk right here. And then there you go, no World War II.
If you walk in the traffic, we promise you'll be rich.
There'd be a World War II without Hitler. There'd be some other Hitler, 100%. Yeah. He was perfectly curated to be the fucking piece of shit that he was, literally. Oh, man, come on.
Yeah, that's just wild. And when you told me that he had voices in his head, I was just like, I bet you other dictators
we were talking about that yesterday.
In their head. If it's all the same thing, they're going to.
You're right. So we're going to look into just like other dictators and if they also had voices in their head.
It's really hard to find that shit, though, because when I was looking for this, I was typing in, like, did this person have voices in their head or mental illness and type of things. But every time I would type in voices, it would come up to, like, the Hitler speech and, like, all these speeches about how these people, like, their actual just talking voice was way different than their, like, giving a speech voice. And it's not really recorded very often either, like, their speaking voices, when they're just, like, hanging out, just, like, casually talking to people like we are right now. But, and that got me to thinking, like, maybe when they're giving speeches, they're putting out this, like, frequency. Like, if they're controlled by this other entity and everything's, like, vibrations and shit, they can put these crowds in, like, a mass, like, everyone loved that dude. In Germany, they were like...
Yeah, they were talking about that with Hitler. People said that it seemed like he was possessed almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was speaking.
Well, yeah, like at concerts, there are certain artists now that people have definitely accused online of similar things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being able to, like, kind of hypnotize
Putting
the crowd.
Out different frequencies with their speakers or just...
Weren't you just saying something like that, like, last week or something?
Yeah.
So, I don't even know if it was on the pod, but yeah, I think you were talking about it maybe upstairs, right?
So there is something to it where you can definitely more than likely do that with frequencies, yeah.
Yeah, if it's an entity and it's an outer voice, and you know how sometimes he's like, well, I have to listen to it. He told me to move over here, and he just does it. Like, what if the voice, like, takes over deeper and he just, like, speaks through him, kind of? Because it's weird that, like, you can't really hear a lot of these guys' like, normal voice. And it's always different when
I feel like it uses up the person. You know what I mean? And I feel like by the end, Hitler was, like, super used up. That's why he had so many different drugs trying to keep him alive, trying to do whatever. And it's like, maybe at that point, you know, they always say, like, Germany lost the war, but the Nazis won the war. You know what I mean? Well, maybe... Did
the entity get what it wanted?
That's what I mean, and just was like, fuck Germany, fuck Hitler, and we'll move on to the next thing, and it got exactly what it wanted already.
Yep, as soon as it gets what it wants, it just moves forward, because it
now
has
the
no
problem
use for
is
Germany.
We don't know where it's at now, like, in our culture. I was trying to figure out, like, where it's...
I think it's behind the scenes of everything right now, dude.
Knows who it is.
I think it's pulling the strings of something. No one's voting for...
I think it's pushing east towards Russia. That's my take on it. It seems like it would probably be in that camp.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know, man.
It's kind of like the exact same thing Germany did, but with no one dying. So there's no reason to stop it.
What do you mean?
NATO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you really look at it, it's kind of like the same exact thing. Like, oh, look, we have all of these countries on our side, and we could just put bases in all of them. And we're not going to kill you. But, you know, it's the same. It looks like the same exact objective, kind of.
Yeah.